My name is Li Xuan, and I'm a sophomore majoring in Chinese literature at a university. Originally, my life was as calm and peaceful as still water, until that cursed night when the bowl game won the championship. To celebrate, my roommates dragged me along to enjoy some skewered meat. I kept insisting that I'm allergic to alcohol and can't drink Baiyu, but they just dismissed it as an excuse. After downing a single glass of Guotou, my world suddenly spun around so fast that everything went dizzy. I got drunk. Apparently. I burst into the next table and passionately kissed as rising star the school heartthrob, Huo Shishen. The next day, I woke up with a splitting headache from the hangover, and my phone was already blowing up. The campus network, chat moments, and the confession wall all were flooded with screenshots of my heroic exploits. A guy had forcibly kissed another guy. Worse yet, a cheat kissed the aloof campus heartthrob. It was simply the drama of the year. I became the laughingstock of the entire school. Or, to be more precise, a pervert. I was so embarrassed that I didn't even dare to leave the dormitory over the weekend. My roommate Su Mingfeng was the only one who helped me bring meals. Li Xuan, stop hiding. Everyone on the internet already knows your sexual orientation is a mystery. Su Mingfeng slammed the lunchbox onto the table, barely holding back his laughter. I pulled the blanket over my head and mumbled, "Just let me die." However, trouble still found its way to us. Huo Shishen directly blocked the entrance to our dorm room. The door swung open with a loud bang, and Huo's hen's stunningly handsome face, so breathtakingly good minus looking it made both humans and gods jealous, appeared in the doorway. One by one, my roommates bolted out faster than rabbits, and just before leaving, they couldn't resist giving me a look that said, "Good luck trying to figure this out yourself." Boy and Chat were heading out to study. The person was already gone, but their voice still lingered in the air. Huo Shishen closed in step by step, his towering figure enveloping me. He wore a simple white T- shirt, yet it couldn't hide the cold aura that kept others at bay. "Are you avoiding me?" His voice was low, tinged with a hint of accusation. I stared at him in confusion, my mind already calculating how I could apologize. Suddenly, my pupils froze. Floating above his head was a string of golden numbers, affinity level 100%. I rubbed my eyes hard. Are the after effects of blacking out really this severe? Am I starting to hallucinate? Big brother, I was wrong. I shouldn't have been drinking, I said guiltily, trying to sweet-talk my way out of trouble. Baby called me big brother. Did I scare him? Baby hasn't done anything wrong. Baby isn't at fault at all. I suddenly looked up. There was no one around. What was that sound? Huo Shishen frowned slightly and raised his tone. No, it's me who shouldn't have kissed you so forcefully. I quickly corrected myself. He stared at me without saying a word, and those beautiful peach-colored eyes seemed to be hiding something. "You absolutely can't let the baby drink alcohol anymore. Bad habits have to change. Help! This isn't an illusion. This is his heartfelt cry." Huo Shishen glanced around, as if He heard some movement, but he said nothing. He simply pulled out a stool and sat down. "Each table is yours." I pointed to the table in front of me. "The baby spot is really clean." I instinctively asked, "Clean?" Huo Shishen also murmured unconsciously, "It's actually pretty clean." Then, as if suddenly realizing what He said, he added with a hint of disdain, "But it's a real mess." I was stunned. Could it be that what it heard in my mind was actually his inner voice? And could he also see the level of affection above my head? "Oh, Shishan, hit me twice and see if I'm dreaming." He didn't understand but still gave my face a symbolic light tap. I touched the baby's face. "It's so smooth and feels amazing." I complained. "I didn't tell you to touch. It's too it." "What kind of quirk?" Huo Shishan raised his face and said with a hint of disdain, "You're telling me to do whatever you want. Wouldn't that be utterly humiliating for me?" He never dared to hit him. I pinched my own face hard. "It hurts. This isn't a dream." Why did baby pinch so hard? It's all right now. I just want to rub it for him. Huo shish and turned his head slightly and handed me his phone. Add each other's contact info. This is going to be tricky. I shakily pulled out my phone and scanned the QR code. I've added the baby's contact information. What the heck? If this is what HE's really thinking, why on earth does he call me baby? After some mental preparation, I came to a conclusion. Not only could I sense his growing fondness for me, but I could also hear the thoughts in his heart. And it seemed all of this had begun after it forcefully kissed him. To get a clear picture of the situation, I decided to make amends for my past mistakes. She pondered deeply for a moment, then said with deep sorrow, how about I just clarify this directly on the campus network? Before I even had time to feel touched, I heard his inner thoughts. I'm not going to clarify anything. I wish the whole school knew that this baby is mine. Huh? I asked tentatively. Then what should we do? He said heavily and said, all right, I won't make things difficult for you. If you bring me breakfast every day this semester, I'll consider forgiving you. My heart tightened. After all, it was I who had damaged his reputation. But then I thought, is one semester really too long? Seeing that I wasn't saying anything, he started muttering to himself again. Baby's gone silent. Was a whole semester really too long? Maybe I should shorten it to 1 week instead. No way! No way! Better make it a month after all. Before I could even react, he himself had already given in. A month is fine too. You can actually play like this. I pushed my luck. How about a week then? Huo Shishen shook his head to indicate refusal. 1 week is just too short. I wish I could see the baby every single day. Finally, we reached an agreement. A month of breakfasts. This past month has become the strangest time of my life. Every day, I come up with new ways to buy him breakfast, while he, in turn, sends me WeChat messages punctually and on time, so much so that even when I don't have classes, he'll happen to run into me. Once, I brought him an egg-filled pancake, and he casually handed me a box of strawberries in return. I'm not eating the strawberries someone gave me. I'll give them to you. I specially bought strawberries for the baby. My boss said they're super sweet. My heart warmed up. How did he know I wanted to eat strawberries? It only mentioned it casually in the dorm yesterday. Huo shish and took a big bite of the egg-filled pancake and said, if you don't have class this afternoon, would you like to come hang out with us and play an escape room? Say yes quick, say yes quick. I want to play with the baby. I politely declined, but am not even familiar with your friends. Kuoshi lowered his eyelids slightly, his expression showing a hint of disappointment. Or should we invite your roommate too? I'm a bit hesitant. They probably don't want to go either. Shishen raised the phone screen slightly, but they said to go. When did they even start adding me on WeChat? Now that things have come to this point, it'd be really hard to back out without making a big deal of it. In the afternoon, the group arrived at the escape room venue. Huo Shishan said to me, just follow behind me in a minute, don't get lost. I've got to take good care of the baby. How come he says one thing on the surface but thinks another entirely? How does he not at all match the aloof, popular campus heartthrob image circulating around campus? Unfortunately, I'm not afraid of ghosts. I followed behind him and heard his long stream of inner thoughts. Why isn't he scared at all? Then how am I supposed to heroically save the handsome guy? How about I pretend to be scared and hide in his arms? But Emma won. Forget it. Baby comes first. Time to snuggle up with baby. His heartfelt words bothered me a bit. After some internal struggle, he turned his head and hugged me tightly. I'm scared. I have to say, his acting is a bit clumsy. The scent on him. It's so nice, so fragrant. Huoshishan stayed pressed against me all the way until the game was over. That evening, we had dinner together, and he ordered every single dish I love to eat. His roommate, Li Ming, seized the opportunity to tease him. Who would have thought that Brother Shen could actually be scared sometimes? He was clutching Li Juan tightly the whole time, refusing to let go. And at first, he even said he wanted the other person to just follow behind him. Huo Shishan glared at them for a moment. You deserve it for not having a girlfriend. He glanced at me and explained with a bashful smile, I'm not usually like this. Oh, Li Ming also wisely kept his mouth shut. To ease the awkwardness, they asked me, would you like to have a drink? Huo Shishan and my roommates almost simultaneously shouted. No way. They've seen ghosts, so they must be afraid of the dark now too. Wait a minute. When we start drinking, our baby's gonna start kissing other people again. It's fine if it's me, but what if it's someone else? No way. Oh, that's right, that's right. I'd completely forgotten. His roommate slapped his forehead. I'll punish myself with 3 drinks. After a long day of fun, everyone was in high spirits and didn't hold back when it came to drinking. The 7 of them drank dozens of bottles of beer and ended up completely drunk. I called 3 taxis before I managed to get them back to school. Ho Shish In and I sat in the very last one. After getting on the bus, he couldn't keep still and kept leaning against me. Eventually, he ended up falling right onto my lap. So soft, so comfortable. I reached out and patted his face, hoping to bring him to his senses, but he grabbed my hand and refused to let go, keeping it pressed against his face. When we reached the school gate, I struggled to help him out of the car. I placed his hand on my shoulder so he'd have something to lean on. Before long, he started tipping forward, being heavy with muscle. He slipped right through my grasp and I ended up falling onto him in the process. Huo Shish En was covered in the smell of alcohol. His eyes glazed over, and his breathing grew rapid. Passers-by stopped to watch, each pulling out their phones to take photos. What's most fatal is that he even stole a kiss from me right in front of everyone. I raised my eyes and met his gaze. My drunken eyes were slightly glazed, with a faint crimson hue at the corners. Can you see my value? He quietly closed his eyes, his cheeks flushed and slightly flushed from the wine, yet his lips couldn't help but pout as he reached out for a kiss. But I could no longer hear his thoughts, nor could I see the skyrocketing level of affection soaring above the chart on his head. It felt as if everything had returned to square one. I had to exert a great deal of effort just to drag him back to the dorm. This was actually my first time visiting his dorm, and I hadn't expected it to be so unusually clean. The blush on Li Ming's face hadn't yet faded, and he wore a mournful expression. The cleanliness of session puras. We can't even leave smelly socks overnight. What a blow that is for the guys. And every day we have to take turns doing the cleaning. Tell me, does this make any sense at all? Li Ming got drunk and started ranting bitterly. The person involved lay on the bed, muttering softly, and slept peacefully. Li Ming grabbed my arm and leaned close to my ear. Let me tell you a little secret. He has a diary. He has been writing in it every single day since his first year, and lately he has been really diligent about it. Hearing this, my heart sank suddenly. There's also a photo tucked inside the diary. I glanced at it briefly, and that person looks kind of like you. My mind went completely blank in an instant. I'm a sophomore now, and I've known Huo Shishan for barely a month. There's no way that diary could possibly be about me. Could it be that HES getting close to me simply because I look like his first love? Although the diary was right within reach, my legs felt as heavy as lead, making it impossible for me to take another step. As I recalled everything HED done over the past half-month, it all seemed like a dream. Now that the dream is over, it's time to say goodbye. The next day, the campus network went down again. School heartthrob Huo Shishan fell down drunk. The campus heartthrob from University acted spoiled and secretly kissed a male student. Huo's hence public coming minus out partner is Li Zhuan from the Chinese department. As soon as Huo Shishan came to his senses after the heavy drinking, he immediately sent a message. Sorry, I think I caused a mess. Give me some time, I'll handle it. I'm really sorry for the trouble I've caused you. It's truly one trouble after another. I kissed him once when I was drunk, and he kissed me once when he was drunk. We're even now. At this moment, I really want to ask that diary what on earth was going on. But then I think again, what right do I have to ask? I don't have any identity at all. We're just ordinary friends. I'm simply myself, not anyone else's substitute. I replied, it's okay. This whole thing started with me. So let's call it even. It'll clarify everything on the campus network and won't bother your life anymore. Best wishes. The name displayed on the chat page kept changing as the other person was typing. After a long wait, his reply finally came, a polite yet distant message. You've been working hard lately. Just leave this matter to me, I'll take care of clarifying it. Perhaps it was the sadness of losing a friend that made my heart take inexplicably. Huo Shishan is extremely trustworthy and always follows through on his word. That very day, he posted a clarifying statement on the campus network. The incident was purely accidental. It was my unilateral pursuit. Please don't disturb his normal life. He took all the responsibility upon himself and kept me completely safe and protected. Since the clarification, Huo Shishan has never reached out to me again. We've become like two intersecting lines, meeting at a single point, then each continuing on its own path, never crossing again. I often find myself scrolling through our chat logs. I still feel a little unaccustomed to the absence of his daily good mornings, noons, and nights, and his thoughtful little check-ins. But life always moves forward, and it reminds me not to look back. I simply deleted his contact information out of sight, out of mind. As long as I avoid any direct contact with Huo Shishan, I can even erase that 70% of goodwill I once felt toward him. Time will tell me the answers and also teach me to know myself better. I'm focused on my own life, attending classes regularly, eating, playing ball. Occasionally, news about Huo Shishan would still surface. Even without me around, he was doing just fine. HED won so many awards that his hands were practically numb from holding them, and he lived a carefree, relaxed life. Soon enough, the campus online forum was flooded with new hot topics. Even after he openly admitted that he had someone he liked, plenty of people chose to ignore it and kept sending him love confessions on the campus forum anyway. I envy their courage, how they dare to express themselves. But I don't even have the courage to meet him. As long as we're still at the same school, inevitable encounters are bound to happen. The next time I saw him was on the basketball court during a game. Huo Shishan had short hair that was neat and crisp. Sunlight streamed over him, making him shine brilliantly. He seemed even more cheerful and upbeat than he had been just a few months ago. We locked eyes, yet with perfect unspoken understanding. We didn't exchange a single greeting, but I could feel a burning gaze following closely behind me. Even when I fell on the court, Huo Shishan was the first to rush over to me. His face was full of worry, and his voice was urgent. Are you okay? For the first time in all this time, I saw him looking so flustered. To avoid becoming fodder for idle gossip and amusement, I shook my head and said, it's nothing, just a minor scratch. You'll just go back and apply some ointment. My roommate, Su Mingfeng, helped me up, and a piercing pain shot through my ankle. I couldn't help but gasp sharply as cold air rushed into my lungs. My scraped knee was oozing blood, sizzling faintly with each breath. My sprained ankle swelled up, making it impossible for me to stand steadily. Before I'd even taken 2 steps, I gasped sharply in pain. Before I could recover from the initial agony, I was suddenly overcome by a sensation of weightlessness. The person behind me instantly scooped me up and started sprinting toward the infirmary. Seeing this, the crowd erupted in cheers, and the entire stadium erupted into a frenzy. Ashamed, I buried my face in his chest, in Huo Shishan's eyes. There was nothing but me on Lu, nothing else at all. Put me down, I can walk on my own. By the time you get to the infirmary, it'll already be dark. He seemed afraid I might object, so he added, I'm just taking care of the injured person. If anyone else had been hurt, he'd have done the same thing. I suddenly feel a bit nostalgic for those days when I could hear what was truly in his heart. Under that outwardly indifferent demeanor, what kind of inner world was he actually harboring? I'm afraid we'll once again become the center of public attention. Our relationship is already sensitive enough as it is. Huo Shishan paused and looked down at me. If you're constantly concerned about what others think and how they view you, You'll never be satisfied with anything you do and you'll inevitably fail at everything. That's why I've never cared about what others think. All I care about is what you think. The hand resting on his shoulder gave a light, unconscious squeeze. Maybe HES right life doesn't have that many spectators after all. But we're all the protagonists of our own lives. Huo Shishan walked me to the infirmary but didn't hurry to leave. Leaning against the doorframe, he seemed lost in thought, pondering who knows what. The questions troubling my heart have always demanded answers. I couldn't help but ask him, in your diary, am I the main character or a supporting one? His pupils suddenly contracted, as if the secret hidden in his heart had been exposed. His gaze shifted unnaturally. Avoiding mine, Huo Shishin walked slowly toward me, stopped right in front of me, and reached out to touch my hair, gently again and again, as if soothing a kitten whose fur had just been ruffled. His expression shifted from one of confusion to one of calm acceptance. Yet, he didn't answer my question. I feel like a fool who can't get any answers, and even the courage to face him is gradually slipping away from me. Go back. I'm fine. Huo Shishen stood to the side as if he hadn't heard a thing, not even shifting his feet a single step. Huh? He looked at me, hesitating as if he wanted to say something but couldn't quite bring himself to speak. You're all by yourself here. I'm worried. It's okay, my roommate will be here soon. Huo Shishen placed his hand on my shoulder, as if he still wanted to say something. I quickly interrupted him before you've even figured out how to answer my question. I'm not sure how to deal with you right now. So could you please give me some personal space for the time being? Hearing this, Huo Shishan frowned deeply, and the hand resting on my shoulder gradually tightened. I turned my head away, unwilling to respond. Got it. A cheerful voice from Su Mingfeng came from the doorway, but as soon as he sensed the heavy atmosphere here, his tone shifted slightly, and his footsteps came to a hesitant halt. He approached cautiously, asking, am I perhaps arriving at the wrong time? Huo Shishan forced a smile and replied, no, you're just in time. Could you please take good care of him for me? Then he turned to me and said, I'm heading out now. He'll definitely give you the answer you're owed. Until the moment he stepped out the door, I never once looked back. I didn't wait for his hands reply, but I did get news about him instead. Rumors about him were spreading all over campus. I knew he'd been hanging out closely with a guy from outside the school lately. For some time now, they'd been almost inseparable, though I hadn't witnessed it myself. The campus internet was flooded with news about them. HES just a passerby in my life. I don't need to care about him. Even when I see photos of him with other people, my heart remains completely undisturbed. Yet, on countless late nights, I find myself revisiting those photos again and again. I'd always thought of myself as a very carefree person until the day I saw them at the supermarket near school. Huo Shishan pushed the shopping cart ahead, with another tall, slender boy walking beside him. They were chatting and laughing happily. At that moment, standing alone and feeling somewhat lonely, I couldn't help but feel a bit down compared to them. I hesitated, even considering taking a detour. But I didn't know. Why was I trying to avoid it in the first place? Just as I was hesitating, a little kid darted up from behind me. He lost control of his shopping cart and bumped squarely into mine. With a loud clang, the sound was quite noticeable, drawing everyone around to turn and stare. Without thinking, I looked up toward the direction where Huo Shishen was standing. I hoped he'd notice me, but at the same time, I didn't want him to see how awkward I felt right now. The moment our eyes met, I still chickened out and was the first to lower my head. The child's parents hurried over to apologize to me. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw Huo Shishin walking toward me. All I wanted was to get out of this place of trouble as soon as possible. I couldn't help but remind the careless parents it's okay. Just remember to keep a close eye on your kids next time. It'd bad if they bumped into someone. The man quickly agreed, apologized to the child, and then left. I wanted to leave as if nothing had happened, but then I heard Huo Shishen calling out to me from behind Li Juan. The step I'd just taken came to an abrupt halt. I took a deep breath, forced a smile, and turned my head to greet her. What a coincidence. Are you here to shop too? Huo Shishen nodded slightly. I finally got a clear look at the thin, tall boy's face. With messy, tousled hair, his features were sharply defined, his nose was straight and prominent, and his eyes had a profound depth. Indeed, he was as handsome as the rumors online had described. He stepped forward and gave me a smile. You're Ilijuan, right? I've often heard Brother Huo talk about you. Did Huo Shishen mention me? Were they talking about me behind my back? I looked helplessly at the boy, wanting to say something but holding back. That's because I really didn't know how to address him. Meanwhile, Huo Shishen kept staring at me without saying a word. It was still that same boy who noticed my embarrassment and proactively introduced himself. I forgot to introduce myself in Yijia. His gaze lingered briefly on Huo Shishen, and turned to me and said with a hint of mischief, "I'm Hoji's little brother." To such a familiar address, Huo Shishen didn't even object instead. He just gave a slight smile. "I'd like to ask you, do you have any time this weekend?" I looked at him with a puzzled expression. What's wrong? "I'd like to ask you out." Before he could finish speaking, Yijia frowned slightly and lightly patted him on the arm. Huo Shishen glanced at him briefly, looking utterly puzzled. Taking a deep breath, Yijia said with a hint of resignation, "Have you forgotten that you had something to do this weekend?" Huo, as his hand's expression, looked somewhat troubled. Smart people can see right through this. It's their way of not wanting me to spoil their lovely weekend. Of course, I'm not going to go out of my way to make a fool of myself. I quickly said, "If there's nothing else, I'll be going now." She hesitated, wanting to say something but then holding back at the last moment. In the end, he didn't say a word at all. I made up some excuse and left casually, faintly catching snippets of their hushed conversation behind me. Ichia seemed somewhat annoyed. "Is this how you ask people to meet up?" But I just want to his hand's voice grew quieter and quieter, so faint that I could barely hear him anymore. Suddenly, I felt as if I'd lost something. My heart ached inexplicably, but what could I do about it? Whether to lose or to gain, neither was in my hands. I'd just gotten back to the dorm when Su Mingfeng came over and took the things out of my hand. "The coke you were supposed to buy for me, did you get it?" I nodded obstinately. "What's wrong with you? You've been gloomy ever since you went to the supermarket." I shook my head. "It's nothing. There are just so many people who care about me. I really shouldn't be letting them worry. Especially Su Mingfeng, he knows best about what's going on between me and Huo Shishen." It's been him, too, who's been by my side all this time, taking care of me with the utmost thoughtfulness and attention to detail. Su Mingfeng is incredibly kind to me. So kind, in fact, that it's almost a bit excessive. In the past, I'd have to ask him time and again to bring me lunch. Now, hardly do I even have to say a word before his lunch magically appears on my desk. Whenever he passes by a fruit shop, he'll even pick up some freshly sliced, juicy fruit for me. As for snacks, forget about it. He buys them by the bagful, making sure I never run out. "Lijuan, do you have time this weekend?" My hand paused mid-minus motion as I opened the cabinet. Why was it weekend again? Had they made plans already? The escape room we went to last time just launched a new theme. There's a special deal if you visit on the weekend. Want to give it a try? Let me send it to you so you can take a look. Ding minus dong. My phone popped up a link sent by Su Mingfeng. I didn't open it to take a look. I put my phone away and continued tittying up.